From Meghan Markle's threats to Elon Musk shutting down journalists, and how could we leave out the juicy details about the Meghan and Tory trial? Let's dive in and talk about what's on everybody's mind. So it comes to no surprise that with the release of Harry and Meghan's controversial new Netflix docuseries that was released last week, that the couple have gotten some backlash from viewers, their families, and the media. The online trolling targeting Meghan Markle took an emotional toll. In a new episode of Harry and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex tearfully opened up about how threats on social media affected her life. I think for people to really understand, when you plant a seed that's so hateful, what it can grow into, she said while seated next to Prince Harry on a couch. In episode 2, the Duchess of Sussex describes how she received a threat while she was in Toronto and claims the press paid her neighbors to keep a 24/7 live stream pointed towards her backyard after her relationship with Harry went public. She says, "I would say to the police, if any other woman in Toronto said to you, I have 6 grown men who are sleeping in their cars around my house, who follow me everywhere that I go, and I feel scared, wouldn't you say it was stalking?" And they said, "Yes, but there's really nothing we can do because of who you're dating." She said that after all that, she eventually started getting threats, and that's when things changed for her and she got her own private security detail for her in Toronto. Prince Harry also chimed in and compared the treatment to his mother Princess Diana's treatment, saying, "To see another woman in my life that I love go through this feeding frenzy, that's hard. It's basically the hunter versus the prey." He even commented on how dating Meghan Markle became a combination of car chases, anti-surveillance driving, and disguises, which isn't a particular healthy way to start a relationship, but we always came at it with as much humor as possible. Whenever we saw each other, we would give each other a massive hug and try to have as much of a normal life as possible. The documentary released on Thursday came after a leading Met officer said Meghan also faced very real threats while she was in the UK. Neil Basu, who is stepping down as Assistant Commissioner of Specialist Operations at Scotland Yard, told Channel 4 News disgusting threats were made against the Duchess of Sussex. When he was asked if that was credible, he said, "Absolutely. If you'd seen the stuff that was written and you were receiving the kind of rhetoric that's online, if you didn't know what I know, you would feel under threat all of the time." In the same episode, Harry says after the relationship became public, the press's intrusion became a feeding frenzy. Meghan goes on, tugging at the viewer's heartstrings by saying, "I'm a mom at the end of the day. It's my life, and that's the piece where you see it and go, you're making people want to kill me? Are we safe? Are the doors locked? Is security on? Are my babies safe?" Meghan tells viewers she recalls wondering the moment she stumbled upon messages and online death threats akin to, "Meghan just needs to die. Someone needs to kill her. Maybe it should be me." In the documentary, Meghan Markle turned visibly distraught at this point and even sought comfort in her husband amid fears for her children's safety. This claim follows Meghan Markle's own admission about being as a foreign organism in the royal family. The Times wrote, "It's not just royal women who face such scrutiny and often trolling of high-profile women and women in public life is worse than it is for men. Women are being turned off from careers in politics because of online abuse, and it's even worse for black women." Now let's jump on over and talk about how on Thursday evening, Twitter banned the accounts of several high-profile journalists from the nation's top news organizations, marking a significant attempt by new owner and self-described free speech absolutist Elon Musk to wield his unilliberal authority over the platform to censor the press. The accounts belonging to CNN Donnie O'Sullivan, the New York Times Ryan Mack, the Washington Post's Drew Harwell, and other journalists who have covered Musk aggressively in recent weeks were all abruptly permanently suspended. The account of progressive independent journalist Aaron Rupar was also banned. Neither Elon Musk or Twitter have responded to CNN's request to comment, and the platform did not formally explain why the journalists were exiled from the platform in the first place. There were a series of random tweets. Musk claimed that the journalist had violated his new doxing policy by sharing his exact real-time location, amounting to what he described as assassination coordinates. None of the banned journalists appeared to have shared Musk's precise real-time location. He later appeared in a Twitter space hosted by a BuzzFeed reporter and reiterated his claim that he had been doxed. After his suspension, O'Sullivan reported on Twitter that the social media company had suspended the account of an emerging competitive social media service, Mastodon, which was allowing the continued posting of Elon Jet, an account that posts the updated location of Musk's private jet. Now, doxing refers to the practicing of sharing someone's home address or other personal information online. The banned account had instead used publicly available flight data, which remains online and accessible to track Musk's jet. The future of the platform, which has been referred to as a digital town square, has been in question. Musk's censorship of the journalists has been called into serious question. Musk's supposed commitment to free speech. Musk has repeatedly said that he would like to permit all legal speech on the platform. Back in April, the same day he announced that he would be purchasing Twitter, he had tweeted, "I hope that even the worst critics remain on Twitter, because that is is what free speech is. Well, it sounds a little hypocritical if you ask me. A CNN spokesperson said the company has asked Twitter for an explanation and it would reevaluate our friendship based on that response. The impulsive and unjustified suspension of a number of reporters, including CNN Donnie O'Sullivan, is concerning but not surprising. Twitter's increasing instability and volatility should be of incredible concern for everyone who uses Twitter, the spokesperson said. Several organizations condemned Twitter's decision, with the head of the American Civil Liberties Union saying it's impossible to square Twitter's free speech aspirations with the purging of critical journalist accounts. A New York Times spokesperson called the mass bans questionable and unfortunate, adding, "Neither the Times nor Ryan have received any explanation about why this occurred. We hope that all of the journalists' accounts are reinstated and that Twitter provides a satisfying explanation for this action." Now on to something that has most of us shocked and on the edge of our seats, the court case between none other than Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. One day after the Savage rapper finally got her day in court on December 13th, Kelsey Harris, Megan Thee Stallion's former friend and assistant, took to the stand Wednesday, December 14th on the third day of the highly publicized trial over whether Tory Lanez shot Megan in the foot and backtracked on key details in her testimony. In the criminal trial, which began December 5th, Lanez is charged with assault with a semi-automatic firearm, personal use of a firearm, and possession of a loaded unregistered firearm in his vehicle. He faces one felony count in discharging a firearm with gross negligence in relation to the July 12, 2020 incident. Harris is a key witness because she was one of the two people present with Megan and the defendant at the time of the alleged shooting, aside from Lane's security guard, Joe Quinn Smith. Earlier this week, Lane's lead attorney, George, had a theory that Harris may have been the one who pulled the trigger instead of his client. The defense's argument was really relying on a statement from another witness, Sean Kelly. The police had interviewed Kelly after the shooting because the vehicle carrying Megan, Lanez, Harris, and Smith had stopped near his house. Lanez's attorney said Kelly saw Harris exit from the back seat of the car and open Megan's front passenger door before witnessing a fistfight between the girls and seeing one of the women point a gun at the other. During Megan's time on the stand Tuesday, she told prosecutors that she and Harris had been best friends since freshman year of college and then became her assistant at the end of 2019. The Grammy-winning rapper denied Harris was the shooter and said that it was actually Lanez who yelled, "Dance B-word," before apparently pointing the firearm at her and shooting. The body artist who told the courtroom that she and Harris have not seen each other since the incident. On December 14th, Harris said that she didn't want to be in court and described the proceeding as a triggering situation, according to Rolling Stone. "This is happening in the face of millions, my name being thrown around and lies. I didn't ask to be in this." She also denounced the defense's argument that she shot Megan, calling the accusation ridiculous, Harris said. She invoked the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, and prosecutors gave her use immunity for her testimony. Harris started recounting what happened at Kylie Jenner's house, telling the courtroom that it wasn't a party but rather a small gathering, about 6 people. A lot of alcohol had been involved, said Harris, who said she drunkenly passed out at Jenner's house for a few hours before returning to the gathering. Harris described Megan as a drunk and that her behavior was a little off, and then said that Lanez was just being Tory and flirting with Kylie. Kelsey also said that Megan's stylist E.J. King, who was also present for the gathering, convinced Megan to leave because her wig was falling off. Megan apparently started arguing, saying she wanted to leave with Lanez. Harris said that Lanez told his security guard just to take them home in an adamant way because he didn't want to leave. On the drive home, Megan insisted on returning to Kylie's home because she had left behind a slipper. Harris recalls seeing Megan rush out of the house with Lanez saying, "Kylie said we gotta get the F out." While on the stand, Harris asked whether she had previously told authorities that Lanez threatened to shoot her. She actually asked the judge if she had to answer the question, and when the judge told her yes, she answered in the affirmative. There was a lot of back and forth in the car, she testified, later explaining how upset and confused she felt when Lanez eventually told Harris that he and Megan were having a relationship. When prosecutor questioned whether Lanez called the two women bees and hoes, which the Savage artist claimed in court the day before, Harris couldn't provide a direct response. A recording from an interview she gave to TA, Deputy District Attorney Alexander Bott, and an investigator in September 2022, was played in court to try to jog her memory. During a portion of the earlier interview, Harris could be heard claiming that Lanez had also threatened to shoot her on the car ride back from Kylie Jenner's house prior to the shooting. Even though Harris confirmed in court that she had made this statement to authorities, she backtracked. Harris claimed what she said to the prosecutors during her interview 3 months ago was not accurate. She then claimed that she was not truthful during the interview to protect herself. Prosecutor Kathy Ta asked her to describe the weapon threat to jurors. "The night was a blur. We were under the influence," Harris testified. She said she had difficulty remembering things and focusing on the questions because of her anxiety and the death of someone close to her. After she was asked about her prior statement to prosecutors that Lanez was aiming the weapon straight but always downward, similar direction towards Meghan. Harris claims to not have witnessed the shooting, but admits she sent the text, "Help, Tory shot Meg, 911," to Singer's security guard, said that the messages were from assumption about what happened. Prosecutor Kathy Toss started raising her voice at Harris, questioning why she admitted to sending the text if she didn't actually see Lane shoot the rapper. "I was in a panic," Harris responded. The prosecutor showed Harris a photo of herself taken at the police station the night of the shooting, where you can clearly see blood on her leg. Harris said that she didn't know whose blood it was, but said Meghan was bleeding and put her leg on her in the car after the shooting, but was uncertain where it was coming from. Todd then asked incredulously, "This is your best friend, right?" Well, that's all we have for today, guys. If you like what you saw, we'd like to hear from you, so please subscribe and leave a comment below, and I'll catch you on the next video. Ciao.